Hello, everyone. This is Melissa with Enchanted Emerald bringing you a reading for Saturday, November 15th, 2025, out of the Light Seers Tarot. And out of the deck today, we have the Page of Pentacles showing up for us. So, really feeling as though there's going to be a little bit of a spark of inspiration coming in for you. And I think that this is where you're going to be forging a new path for yourself, and it's going to be uncharted territory. So, this is something that you've never done before. So, you have to really be patient with yourself as you start to take those action steps. I think it's going to be a bit of a balancing act. As much as you desire something to happen or as much as you want something to happen, we have to also take half of that energy and then channel that into some sort of an action so that you don't in the end up sitting at a standstill. And so I think that there's a lot of freedom on the other side of this. I was shown a horse, and so spiritually speaking, that's telling me there's a lot of freedom on the other side of taking these actions. But I think that you may have a tendency right now to just get caught up in feeling a little overwhelmed with the whole process. But I think that once you start to ground into your reality, your thoughts, your ideas, your intentions, I think that once you start taking those action steps, it can come in pretty rapidly for you. I think that there's something that's kind of a ways out in terms of you aren't necessarily aware of everything at this point, and that's maybe kind of contributing to some of that feeling of just confusion. And I think that eventually something will be revealed to you, and it will start to help you to set things in motion, and things will start to happen. And I think that this is really something that could feel like a blast from the past. And maybe you're feeling as though maybe somebody shows up to help you from the past. Maybe you're reminded of a situation that you dealt with in the past. And I feel like you're going to be on the other side of that situation, like almost as if the tables have turned. And it's time for you now to take your action and leave your mark. And I think that ultimately you could end up in a space where you're feeling a little bit left in suspense or in limbo, so to speak. And that's where you start to get real with it, really honestly, and really wanting to take those action steps. And so that's important that you start to get grounded, stay grounded, be realistic about your expectations and how things can really turn out for you. Because I think there will be an ending that has to happen. It's calling for an ending in order for you to be able to really move forward with this. And this is really attesting, I think, mostly to maybe there's a certain view or belief that you've held for a long time, and that needs to be challenged in order to be able to let go of that. Or perhaps you're surrounding yourself with someone that almost as if they're holding you back is what it feels like. Maybe you're feeling like this situation isn't for you because you were kind of taught maybe that wasn't something that you could ever do, maybe because it just wasn't a standard that was achieved in your family. And so it's almost a chauvinistic kind of point of view as well. So thinking in terms of like traditional gender roles. And I think that this is where you start to challenge some of those things and kind of really push yourself outside of your comfort zone or what you've come to know. And I think it's important here overall that like when things become a little overwhelming for you to just take a step back and let it simmer. So really sit with it, sit with those emotions, know that even slow progress is still progress. And in that pause, in that wait and see stance, it will come to you. It eventually will come to you what you're supposed to do next, where you're supposed to go, and how you're supposed to get there. And so I think that you're working with a cause, so to speak. And I think that this is mostly not necessarily to prove to others that you can do it, but I think it's mostly to prove to yourself that this is something that you can do. And I think it will benefit others, though. I think it will inspire them, and I think that it will help them to learn from their mistakes as well, seeing you take this path. But I think overall, know that every action step that you take, there will be an equal and opposite reaction, right? And so as you move forward in those times where it feels overwhelming or you're not necessarily sure of where to go next, taking that step back and that wait and pause, it's almost as if you're dancing with that energy a little bit to help you to ultimately bring your ideas and your thoughts and intentions down into reality. And so you can then respond when something new shows up, or a new situation, or a new feeling about it. You'll end up coming up with some sort of an aha moment where you'll know what to do next. And so I think it's important too, though, to just know that you need to take some time to enjoy this journey along the way. I think that in the end, you may feel like, gosh, was this all worth it, right? Because it's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take a little bit of effort to get you where you want to go. But I think that if you are paying attention to what's standing out to you throughout that process, being a force, a creative force, right? But then also giving yourself time and moments to really kind of revel in the beauty of it as it unfolds, because that's going to help you to create a fond memory for the whole process that you're going through. So you'll look back on it and not be wondering so much of like, was it all worth it? But to find where, you found some joy in that process, or where you learned something new about yourself, those would be things that you'd be able to take with you moving forward. So whatever the situation is. And yeah, so it's a beautiful read here, I think, for us. And I thank you so much for taking the time to listen to the reading today. And as always, I will be back with another read for you guys again soon. Don't hesitate to let me know in the comments how this resonates for you. Thank you so much. Take care.